My name is Sarah Escalante and I'm going to be talking about forces. A force is a pull or a push from an object when it interacts with another object. And as long as it is interacting with something, it produces a force. Meaning a force is a result of an interaction between two objects or more. The discovery of forces was done by Sir Isaac Newton in 1687, and he described the motions as inertial force of every object. He came up with the three laws that describe the motions and the interaction between objects. His first law states that every body remains at rest or of constant motion unless an external source of force is applied to them. The second law of Newton says the amount of acceleration an object will have depends on the force applied to them and the mass it has as well. Meaning that bigger objects will move slower and their acceleration will be less if the force applied to them is less than their mass or not enough for how big or small they are. Therefore, when the object is small and the force applied to them is bigger than the mass, it will have a faster acceleration. Newton's third law of motion states that every action has an equal but opposite reaction, meaning that any force that you apply into something has an equal reaction to the other side or other direction. There's two types of forces. There's contact forces and action at a distance forces. The contact forces are those that are known for two objects interacting at the same time, meaning that their forces into each other are relatable to each other. And the at a distance force are forces that not necessarily are touching the object, but are definitely affecting the object. An example of a contact force and at a distance force is gravity. Every object on Earth has gravity. That's why when you drop something, it always falls. Meaning that when you prevent something from falling, it creates another force equal but opposite. So for example, tension force, when you're preventing something from falling like this, if I drop it, it falls. But the tension that is created by the cable, it's equally but opposite to the gravity force that's going downwards. Another example of the added distance and contact force is air resistance and gravity. So for objects that have lower mass, the air resistance is greater from objects with a greater mass. For example, this sheeted paper, if we drop it, because of the mass, it would take a long amount of time to drop to the floor because of gravity. But if the object is greater in mass and weight, it'll be faster. For example, thank you for making it so far into the video. Just to wrap up, let's make a little review. So a force is a push or a pull of an object when it interacts with another object, meaning that pulling or pushing something is going to react as the third law of Newton, a reaction equal but opposite to it. So the three laws of motion by Newton states that every object it stays at rest or equal motion unless another external force is applied into it. So it states that the acceleration of an object is proportional to the force applied to it and the mass that it has. And third, but not least, the third law of motion by Newton states that every action has a reaction equal but opposite. Thank you for watching.